Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday Live Dharma. My name is Adam, and I've been tending this temple since I was 9 years of age, and I'm also currently in a boot due to a running-related injury. Today, our temple friends, Irene Sadler, Carol Golan, Wan Lin, and Reverend Wangan will share their reflections from the recent week-long retreat at the Won Dharma Center. Let us start our practice by reading the essential dharmas of daily practice together on page 11. The essential dharmas of daily practice.
The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. Let us turn resentment into gratitude. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all.
Now, please stand up and let's join in happy relaxation movements.
Good morning. Let's start getting ready for sitting meditation by doing some ankle exercises here, getting them loose in circles, one direction and the other direction. Bending the toes, both directions. Excellent. I like to hear the popping. And the other ankle. Other direction. Bend the toes. Okay, let's move up to knees. Give them some gratitude for doing what they do for us all day. And go in circles in one direction. And the other direction. Okay, moving up to waist. We'll circle our waist, keeping our torso relatively stable. Moving our hips around. Other direction. Great. Moving up to shoulders. Small circles with the elbows. Getting larger. And the other direction, starting large and making them smaller. Okay. Let's do more shoulder work because that's what I need today. up and back. Arch the back a little bit when you go back. Looking up. One more this direction. Now the other way. Great. Okay, we're going to find our center of balance, our danjon, which is about 2 inches below the navel. Feet are shoulder width apart, grounded. And we're just going to shift our weight from one side to the other, keeping our torso relatively straight, again, not doing our hips necessarily or doing our torso, but just shifting the weight here. Ooh, that's good. I'm getting dizzy, you guys. Looks like we're on a boat. That's good. Great. Okay. Breathing in and out. In and out. One more. Now let's go in. Push our hands out. Bend with a straight back. Grab the energy ball. Bring it up slowly. Cross. Reach up and down. Let's do 2 more of those. Bend. Energy ball. Great. Let's do heaven and earth, where we are putting palm up, facing heaven, one palm down, facing earth. And if you push a little, you can feel the energy. And we're going to change sides by going through the middle. And that's all we're going to do. And the palm below is flat, and the palm above is also flat. Now, if we want to get cute, switch like that, and you end up with the same hand up. There we go. Let's do one more. Now we'll do the other side, so we're going to switch. Circle. Excellent. 2, 3. Hands up. Palms together. Now join us in 4 bows to Dharmakaya Buddha.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. Meditation is simple and easy. Anyone can practice it. Please take time to find your most comfortable position on a mat or in a chair. Wiggle to stretch and to release any tension in your body. Then gently rock back and forth until you are balanced and settled like a peaceful mountain. Breathe in. As you breathe out, release any tension or uneasiness. Relax and gently bring your focus to your lower abdomen. Allow yourself to settle into belly breathing. As you breathe in, your lower belly gently expands. When you release your breath, your lower belly gently shrinks. Our lower belly is the home of our whole body. It is the storehouse of our vital Qi energy. We call it the Danjen, our Qi energy field. Take a moment to breathe deeply from your Danjen. Settle your mind and focus there. As you softly breathe in and release, gradually strengthen your lower back and open your chest and heart. You may notice your spine adjusting and straightening. As you feel strengthened and centered, align your ears with your shoulders and let your shoulders melt down and away from your neck. Tuck your chin in slightly. Let your eyelids relax and drift downwards to their most comfortable position. Enjoy the sensation of your arms and hands relaxing. Now bring your awareness to your tongue. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, right behind your two front teeth. When your tongue rests there, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. This is a delightful sign of cool energy ascending. Smile at your calm and clear spirit and swallow. If your face and body begin to itch, simply observe the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly, so that you maintain a calm stillness and honor the silent practice of those around you. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not play with them. As you exhale, let them float away like clouds, or invite them to settle down and meditate with you. Continue to bring your awareness back to your Danjan abiding breath. When your mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation. You will be free from the distinction between yourself and others and the limits of time and place. We are grateful to sit here together, finding this still point within. May we be here now, deeply aware of our ever calm, ever alert spirit.
My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth.
Please join your palms together, hearts together, for prayerful word peace. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. O Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, may we take our refuge in Dharma and be filled with compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and may all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts. I wish and pray, sincerely and truly, where my hands touch the world, where my feet walk on the earth, where my voice echoes through the hills, and in all
realms where my heart and mind might reach, that we all together, share a true affinity for attaining great enlightenment and helping all living beings.
Chanting Sutra Il Won Sangva, page 9.
One is a realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Will one manifest as both permanence and impermanence? Viewed as permanence, still one unfolds into an infinite world that is never abiding, spontaneous, just as it is. Viewed as impermanence, till one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies in the four forms of birth. We transform through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing, with grace arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Ilwan Sangha Dharmakaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan.
This morning, our dear temple friends Irene and Carol and Reverend Won will share their reflections from the recent week-long retreat Reverend Won led at the Won Dharma Center. Let's practice deep listening as we first welcome Irene.
The retreat in New York was an excellent reminder that peace is only a few deep breaths away. Since returning from the colorful meadows and wide skies of the Won Dharma Center, I have been aware how delicate the calm I cultivated there could be. I accept to a certain extent that normal life may never allow for the pervasive, tangible stillness that arises after several days in a tranquil Eden-like setting, but every step in the right direction makes a difference. Practices that have helped me cherish and nourish my peace since returning include doing yoga at my own pace and from my own internal cues, tending to my garden, which is newly populated with Dharma garlic from our trip, attending as many services as I can fit into my schedule, and tuning in with the Plum Village app, which has an option to play a gong at set intervals. When it goes off, I close my eyes, bring my palms together, and feel into my internal state, and take as many deep, conscious breaths as I need to remember what's most important. At first, I felt resistance towards the bell on my phone interrupting my important tasks, but the practice of so regularly checking in and calming myself did partially mimic the peace I felt throughout my days on the retreat.
Nestled among magnificent forests and meadows overlooking the Catskills, well cared for and well fed, in noble silence, we, 22 retreatants, stepped away from most daily distractions, responsibilities, and demands of social interactions. Under these conditions, Reverend Won and the Dharma Center created a safe, supportive container in which I found that if I tried, I could focus almost entirely on observing the moment-to-moment activities of my mind-body. Just by being there, I felt enormously liberated. I became more cognizant than I usually am of my thoughts and feelings and the responses they engendered. I was grateful to be able to, as Thomas Merton, a writer and former Catholic monk, might say, attend deeply to my soul. Won guided us to read and contemplate a scripture verse about the threefold practice. It was a gift having 8 days to connect with my true nature by cultivating equanimity, watching my mind, pondering its true nature, and contemplating how to use it well. However, even with most distractions, including my cell phone, removed, and my motivation to practice primed, I quickly noticed that trying to focus continuously on my mind's workings was not a walk in the park. It took effort. Reflecting on the retreat now, however, what I notice is that whether meditating, practicing Tai Chi, planting and peeling garlic, or anything else, while I was there, I was often trying to find balance between making a concerted effort to focus my attention on the moment and just being in the moment. How do I make the effort needed to focus my mind while also learning to just be here now? The retreat gave me the space to work on that. Several times each day, between a hilly forest above and an expansive meadow below, we walked a beautiful wooden path that led from the meditation hall to the buildings we slept in. The path was named the Middle Way. I find this particularly apropos because I now see that my wrestling with balancing being mindful with letting go was me searching to find a middle way in each situation, seeking right mindfulness, trying to pay attention, but without goals or judgments. For example, in my journal, I wrote this just after eating breakfast. I slow down and pay attention to eating berries and yogurt. As I do, I feel deeply grateful for the nutrients in the soil and rain, for the energy of the sun, and for the labor of those who planted, nurtured, picked, washed, and served the berries. I discern the vibrance of their colors. I notice the sweet and tart tastes of their juices, their moist, fleshy pulp, their chewy, gritty skin between my teeth. I notice changes as I chew. I rely, though, on words to help me pay attention. Periwinkle, ruby, sweet, tangy, juicy, gritty. And I make a judgment, pleasurable. But these labels are inadequate to apprehend the experience. I try to let go of words. I think about the funny, simple advice Chan Master Yun Men gave that Reverend Yu shared with us today. When walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. So how do I just eat? I break each moment down into smaller moments, waiting for a pure awareness of now that just is, in which changes occur while my mind stands still. Suddenly, I am simply just eating everything that is the berries, with no labels, no judgments, and no separate self. I wonder, is this clear, still, pure awareness my true nature? And with this question, my separate self returns. The Buddha taught that right mindfulness is mindfulness developed in the service of ending suffering. Have my 8 days mindfully walking in nature, reading scriptures, eating delicious food, meditating, and journaling helped end suffering? Part of our threefold study reading sheds some light on this. Soda-san asks, why is it that we human beings do not practice the good even while knowing the good, nor put an end to evil even while knowing the evil? He then tells us, 1, because we cannot control our desires, which flare up like fire, and 2, we are enticed by habits which are solid as iron and stone. But if, as Zen Buddhist priest Norman Fisher explains, we practice right mindfulness for its own sake, but with the faith that through the practice we'll come to see how our mind and heart create suffering and happiness, we'll then naturally choose happiness. The retreat gave me a remarkable chance to observe how my heart and mind create suffering and happiness. This experience cultivated awareness of the profound love, grace, and interconnectedness of the universe, which gives me faith that if I continue to practice, this awareness will help keep my conditioned habits and desires from fooling me quite as much, so that I can make more choices that lead to grace rather than harm.
Lying down, rest. Meditation comes with many different forms or any forms. In appreciation of great possibility of a peace, retreat, minds and hearts, wherever we are, let's pause and relax for a moment. And smoothly come to a sitting.
So as you return to sitting, take time, just rock around a little bit, find a really cozy, stable place. Because next, we're going to hear a voice that is on one hand familiar, and on another hand, one we don't get to hear very often. So the last couple of weeks, we've been hearing from different practitioners who attended the retreat at the Won Dharma Center. But now we're going to hear from Reverend Won Gong, from a perspective of being a teacher. So please, hands together, welcome Reverend Won Gong.
This beautiful autumn has been a good time for us to center and ground our energy. An ancient sage said, material things which we amass for 100 years will crumble into dust in one morning. But cultivating our minds for a week will last as a treasure for 1,000 years. I love to lead retreats.
In a meditation retreat, a group of people come together with focused intentions and commitment. Through the community practice in retreat, we all aspire to experience the genuine realm of a consummate quiescence and non-discrimination. As facilitator, I get to support others in nurturing their pristine, fundamental human spirit. This is fascinating to me and also a great honor. The lengths of retreats vary. Some people say that our Sunday practice gathering is like a mini retreat. Do you feel that way? The recent retreat I led at the Won Dharma Center in New York spanned 8 days and 7 nights. To create the most beneficial retreat experience, I gather and analyze feedback from previous retreats. After formulating a draft program, I consult with other retreat staff. Together, we revise and finalize the itinerary. The retreat programs at Won Dharma Center was especially rich with a variety of activities, thanks to the loving support and participation of 6 other reverend 교무님s, not to mention healthy and fabulous food. One of the retreat programs I especially enjoy is having one-on-one interviews with individual retreatants. These allow me to offer undivided attention to the person right in front of me. I listen deeply and think of every aspect of what will be the most beneficial for the person's practice. Based on these interviews, I reshaped the flow of the day or revised the content of the retreat. This process requires great focus, so a retreat can be an intensive week for me. Yet, I can experience delight and joy because in a long retreat like this, so much is possible. The experience I appreciate the most is the deep silence of our sitting together next to each other. This does not mean I believe that everyone is in deep samadhi. But over time, I can sense the wavelength of each person becomes more settled and peaceful. Through meditation, noble silence, and contemplation, each participant goes into a deeper understanding of themselves. When these experiences are shared through journaling and 1-minute Dharma exchanges, that is indeed powerful. As each retreat unfolds, I get to witness our dear Dharma friends' growing awareness of mind and body, with appreciation of connection and solitude, with the flashes of insight, with the possibility and reality of change, and with the joy and mystery of waking to greater awareness and a renewed sense of love and gratitude. Sometimes, though, retreat journeys come with resistance, irritation, or discomfort. When I notice these emerging from a retreatant, my heart goes out and I hold that person in my silent prayers. A famous orchestral conductor once said that to lead an orchestra well, a conductor must have a deep understanding of the composer's intent and a thorough knowledge of the musical score. Equally important, he said, was a deep appreciation and connection with each member of the orchestra and with each contributing instrument. His reflections suggest that a symphony can only be as good as each of its components, and that to facilitate the best results, a conductor needs to listen well. Through the process of listening, hearing, conducting, and sharing, authentic music comes to life. As a retreat guide, I aspire to be like a good orchestral conductor, never imposing my understanding of the Dharma, the score, on retreat participants. Instead, I hope to facilitate their own discovery of the score in connection with others. I saw this happen in front of my eyes as the recent retreat participants in New York naturally allowed and created more and more space between notes, more and more silences, and more room for contemplation. During a retreat, all my attention simultaneously goes not only to group dynamics, but also to every single individual. Since the retreats I lead are usually held in noble silence, I have only limited verbal communications with those attending. This is why I keenly observe the energy level, the focused level, the sitting and walking postures, and the facial expressions of the retreatants. As I do this work, I sometimes feel like a nurturing mother, and sometimes more like a stern drill sergeant. It can be challenging to find a middle way between these two roles. As a retreat teacher, the hardest part is not holding on to my own expectations. Even though at the beginning of every retreat, I tell everybody to let go of expectations. For example, I always hope and expect that everyone will follow my guidance. I hope and expect that every retreat participant will show up at the group sessions rather than wandering off on their own. I hear my inner voice, "People, this is not a self-retreat." Because each session of the retreat builds on previous sessions. When a person misses a session, there can be a gap in their retreat journey. This is why I hope that everyone on our retreat will be on the same page, so we can rise together to the next step of a practice. But I know 100% participation is an unrealistic expectation, because each retreatant travels at their own pace. At the One Dharma Center retreat last week, I was happily surprised that pretty much everyone fully participated every day for the entire week. So I'm deeply grateful to them for their dedication and perseverance. My retreat koan is how to skillfully keep the entire retreat orchestra true to the score. Ultimately, there is no retreat conductor. There are no retreatants, no teacher, no students. We are simply practitioners on this path. As we ended our retreat in New York, we found ourselves harmonizing with ourselves and with each other in beautiful, marvelous, surprising ways. I think most of us felt that we ended the retreat on the same note, all one. We bowed to one another, and together and individually, we held and shared the silence.
Then we danced the hokey pokey. We packed up and re-entered the grand retreat center of the broader world. The end. The beginning.
Thank you, Reverend Won Gong, for all your insights into all the conductor roles you're playing, and also just for sharing from your heart what it's like to really guide the unity of what a treat is. So thank you, and thank you for your work doing it. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Carol, for your lovely insights of being a participant at a retreat. And so this morning, friends online, this is a time to reflect on all these retreat experiences you've heard. And if you've attended a retreat, please feel free to share your experiences on the live chat. And if you haven't, pause and consider what would be your hope if you were able to attend a retreat. Friends here in the Dharma Hall, please pair up in small groups and also share your retreat experiences or your hopes for a future retreat.
It's very special. You should not feel uncomfortable doing Dharma.
Is it in? But like you said, just find the time. I don't know. When I come here and I'm like,
We have children walking in with the lotus flower. Welcome their walking meditation with the lotus flowers. Please, you can have a seat right here. Have a seat. Looking at them. Can you turn around? There you go. How was your lotus flower meditation today?
It was fun.
Give them big applause for their practice. Would you sit like lotus flower Buddha? Let's sit up tall, everybody. And we welcome Kelly's closing announcement.
Thank you all for practicing with us today. It was wonderful to hear about all the recent retreats at the Won Dharma Center. And the good news for you is that Reverend Won will be giving her next retreat this spring. Is April 5th through 11th, and it's at the Southern Dharma Center Retreat Center, which is located in the mountains of North Carolina, just outside of Asheville. And as you've heard, these retreats are special, so please consider this a warm invitation to join. This evening at 5 p.m., our sister temple in Raleigh is hosting a peaceful meditation. And save the date, our annual fall festival and open house will be next Sunday, October 29th, from 1 to 5 p.m. There will be a nifty gift shop, Korean food court, and mini classes and arts and crafts activities for the children. And at 3 p.m., there will be a piñata. I think that's only for the children. But you can. And for those of you who are attending Sunday's Dharma service in person that morning, we will open the food court early at noon so you can come and have lunch. We have vegan and gluten-free options, and you can enjoy the open house festivities after. After our services this morning, we are selling Dharma garlic. So it has been lovingly planted and harvested for you by the wonderful Kyomanims at the Won Dharma Center. It is delicious for cooking, but if you'd like to, you can take some of the bulbs and plant them and continue growing Dharma in your yard. Check out the basket in the foyer on your way out, and payments can be made by check, cash, or Venmo. We are grateful for your kindness, your kind awareness that our temple continues our spiritual work thanks to your generous support. The offering table is in the foyer, and also please consider becoming a temple sustainer if you have not yet. Now let us bless our day with morning prayer song on page 13.
May I walk along the path
Kamsahamnida for your practice. Kamsahamnida.
감사합니다.
Let's wave our hands through the Mr. Sony camera. Those friends who joined us live streaming. And children, you can stay.